He may be filled with go-getter tendencies, but without an idea to pursue, he might be left directionless and frustrated. But there are a number of different ways in which people have generated ideas for their own businesses. Take Crystal Quinlan, for example, who started her professional photography business, KE Photography, when she was in her early 20s.
I've always had an interest in taking photos and in photography, and when I left school, I needed to find another creative outlet because I had thrown myself into my body of work for my HSC, and it was a hard time for me. I'd just lost my mum, so a lot of that artistic expression was through passion, and a lot of emotion went behind it, so I needed to find some other way to channel it. So I started taking photos, and then just a personal project, and then people said, "Can you take photos of me?" And I started taking photos of people, and then people said, "Can I give you money to take photos of me?" And at that point I said, it's probably time to get an ABN.
Crystal's idea grew out of a hobby. However, she still had to learn a whole new skill set when it became a business.
It's all well and good to have your hobby, and you can be really, really good at your hobby, but business is something completely different altogether. All your invoicing, all your accounts, your profit and loss, you need to know it all.
In other cases, identifying a gap in the market is what can bring about an idea. Melanie Orea and Liviu Monstead are the founders of Monsands Productions, a theatre production company aimed at youth. We met up at Parramatta Riverside Theatre, the location where their latest play, Not a Word, was performed.
First time I actually met him, I was in year 11, he was in year 10. A few years afterwards, he's in his final year of school, and we decided that because we're not really doing anything artistic, we'd decide to put on shows together because we worked really well together artistically. So we decided, hang on, you can't really create artistic work without having someone backing it up, like a company or an individual. So we decided to make Monsands Productions.
In a sense, we really are about kind of the youth theatre who's trying to get the other youth and give them the professional opportunity that they may not have had in the past.
20-year-old Sarah Warwick purchased the clothing store Bernie's from her former employer last year.
He always explained to me how the business ran and everything, and then when the opportunity came up to take over the place, it was just the best thing ever, and everything, it's been really smooth. I think because I had the experience of what it was like beforehand, I wasn't really kind of thrown in at the deep end. I'd already done a couple of years of knowing the seasons and knowing the cycles and the trends that go through and everything, so it's been really smooth. It's been smooth sailing.
Sometimes you don't get to come up with an initial idea, but Sarah has still made it her own while maintaining existing goodwill.
As much as we wanted to come in and inject our own flavour into it and make it a bit kind of more fun and vibrant, a big appeal to us was that we can keep it very much the same too. Because it's such a long time established business, we're pretty set in what we're doing for now, but we have maybe brought the age down a little bit, just made it that little bit younger, but not too young. I keep it just a bit tighter too. I just don't take quite as many risks yet as Ross used to take.
Creativity is not only handy for idea generation, it can be useful for expanding your business's reach too. Crystal uses her website, which contains, along with examples of her work, personal poetry-like musings which build the aesthetic of KE photography.
It used to be a gallery as such with some pricing information, and then turned it into a blog. So it's a blog-based website now. It gives people insight into me as a person, as well as my pricing and my work. But yeah, it's definitely an avenue I'm comfortable in, writing and expressing myself in text. So that's definitely, I push that a lot.
Monsands Productions has put on a show for each of the past 2 years, and its third is already written and forthcoming.
So each year we always get more ambitious with the plays and bigger and want to make it more professional and more stand out than before. So it does become a much more jarring circumstance each time around, trying to work out the logistics of how to get it done. It can be sometimes very kind of stressful, but at the same point, we kind of go by the theory of if Monsands has done it once, we can do it again.
All three of these businesses might be different, but their owners have all been innovative and creative in driving them forward.